Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone else to Equality News, the weekly show where we cover LGBTQ+ topics and all other topics that have to do with equality that the other news peoples are not willing to cover. This isn't just a news show, it's a conversation. If you agree with me, disagree with me, whatever, let me know down in the comments down below, or if you want to have a more personal conversation, you can DM me on my Instagram, right here. Anyways, this is a day late, so let's jump right in. Okay, this is stupid. This is so stupid. The results are awesome and amazing. Essentially, the Republicans were like, hey, you know what's a great idea? You know how some service members are transgender and how all service members, members of the military are going through like a bunch of mental stuff with like PTSD or STD because it's not after the event, but it's during, and like they're going through all the stress and stuff. You know what would be great? You know what would be great for the transgender ones who are already suffering additional mental You know it'd be a great idea? If we didn't allow them transitional medical care. That would really help out the fucking military. God, I'm sorry. I'm really angry. But essentially, the Democrats were like, "Hey, wait a minute," and a lot of Republicans were like, "Hey, wait a minute. That's it's pretty stupid." So thankfully, it was denied by a 214 to 209 vote. Isn't it kind of sad how it was that close? How 209 of the House of Representatives was like, hey, I think this is a good idea. These people, they're suffering and they're going through all this stress and anxiety and all this other depression and You know what we should do? You know what we should do, Johnny? We should take away their medical care if they're transgender. Them. That just... but seriously, that angers me. This really angers me. Can't have a Equality News episode without something stupid. Okay, and also, HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, is putting aside $26 million to fund an opposition to President Donald Trump's agenda, which is all this shit with like, oh no, we need to do all this shit that's really stupid. Like, we need to take away all the funding for Planned Parenthood, which I kind of agree with, taking away a lot of the funding for like the people who can afford it. It's like, we don't need to pay for your abortion, but for the people who can't afford it, or if it was like rape or incest, yeah, we still need to fund that. And there's a bunch of other stuff that he wants to take away, such as Title IX, which protects transgender and LGBTQ youth who are students, which is actually interesting because it's the largest grassroots expansion for the HRC in the group's 37-year history. Okay, and then this next issue is pretty controversial, and I think my views have changed recently on this topic. We're going to be talking about religious freedom versus the LGBTQ community. So you may have heard way back when there was this case in the courts about a baker who wasn't willing to make a cake for a gay wedding, and they lost the lawsuit and they lost a ton of money and they had to shut down their shop. And then recently, there's a florist who could lose literally everything they own, which I don't think is reasonable. I think they should be punished, but not lose everything they own because they didn't make a floral thing for a gay wedding. The only reason for doing this is, well, of course, homosexuality goes against their faith. In reality, it doesn't if they're an actual Christian, but that's fine. They're allowed to believe whatever they want because religious freedom. But the problem that comes in is, are they allowed to not serve gay people or transgender people just because it disagrees with their faith? Okay, so I'm really split on this. Even while I'm recording this, I'm a little confused because, like, of course, you could argue, oh, well, they're willing to serve an atheist wedding or they're willing to serve a Muslim wedding. Well, that's not the center of the marriage. The center of the marriage isn't, oh, it's an Islamic marriage. No, it's just two people who are getting married that happen to be Islamic. But this is different because the base of the marriage is that it's homosexual. So I, on some level, understand them not wanting to serve them, but that doesn't make it right that they shouldn't serve them. It's also argued, I've seen a lot of the times where people will say, oh, well, it used to be like, oh, that's a black people wedding, I'm not serving there, or oh, that's an interracial wedding, I'm not going to serve that. And they're arguing that it's very similar, which I think it kind of is and it kind of isn't. I'm kind of split on this. I'm still figuring it out. Let me know what you think. I'm pretty sure most of y'all are going to say that it's wrong to not serve them. But I also want to hear your views on how harsh you think the punishment should be, because of course in the job of the florist, they can literally lose everything they own, which I do not think is good. And then the most recent case of this is a t-shirt maker was unwilling to make t-shirts that held LGBTQ messages on them. Quote from the article, "He is willing to serve all people, but he cannot print all messages," essentially saying that the t-shirt maker is willing to serve gay people, they're just not willing to put gay stuff on their shirts, which is kind of stupid, but also kind of reasonable, because it's sort of like if someone came in and they said, "Hey, can you put a swastika on this shirt?" No matter what the reasoning, I think it's kind of reasonable for them to not serve that, but at the same time, it kind of isn't. I'm split on this one too, so let me know what you think in the comments down below or DMing me on Instagram. And then this last one is kind of interesting, and I wasn't going to cover it until I recognized how large it was. I didn't even know about it until I saw it on the Philip DeFranco show, but that's not the point. The point is the newest announcement of who the next Doctor on Doctor Who is going to be. It's going to be a female played by this lady. And many are like, "Oh, that's stupid, hashtag not my doctor," which is really freaking dumb. And before I say anything, I do want to clear it up. If it was making them female just for the sake of making them female, or making them trans just for the sake of making them trans, or queer just for the sake of making them queer, then I would understand people being upset. But it's actually canon that a doctor can act, or a Time Lord as it's called. Look, I don't watch Doctor Who, okay? Don't get mad at me. It's canon that a Time Lord can actually like regenerate or whatever it's called as a different gender, and it's happened in the past, I believe. Master somebody went to mistress somebody. Correct me in the comments. I don't watch Doctor Who. That's all I know about the series. So that's why this is so stupid, because it's not just like, "Oh, wow, they should make Link a girl." No, that's dumb, because it's not part of the series. That would be just doing that for the sake of doing it. You can't force equality like that, but this is a very, very good implementation. But some people are mad about it for a different reason. For example, Feminist Frequency tweeted out that it's unreasonable to represent women, but it's not representing LGBTQ people, and it's not representing people of color. Well, if you'll remember, in one of the previous seasons, there was actually a black queer woman as the companion for the Doctor. I'm going to have to remember this because I did not write this down in my notes. They also said that it shouldn't come in bites. Equality should come all at once, which doesn't make any sense to me. It's like equality, you don't force equality to all happen at once. You allow equality to happen slowly or over time, or maybe all at once, but not in the same character, or not immediately all at once. I feel like this is a perfect representation of anyone that wants to implement equality or represent all people groups in their TV show, any form of media. I think this is a great example of how to do that properly. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, or by DMing me on Instagram. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss this weekly show, and weekly podcasts should be coming back, but I keep forgetting. That's my fault. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, follow Project Trans Friends on Instagram, Project Trans Helpline, the secondary helpline, and as I said, subscribe for more videos. Lily out.